What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Aces High podcast. We're your hosts, Miriah and Ty. Ty, happy Monday. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
What's going on?
Besides
I'm doing
banging
good.
in our
How are you?
ear, how you doing?
Yeah, I just back the mic, so
Thundering
smooth.
out there.
So smooth of me. I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Hot, but we're surviving. It's a little bit cooler this week, so we're getting through.
Thing.
We're getting through. Chat, happy Monday. Hope everybody's
everybody?
doing great. Throwback, first in the door, per usual. Appreciate you, sir.
Yep.
Maria, what's up, Maria?
What's up?
Got Rob D in the house.
Rob?
Bang, bang, WNBA
right.
gang. Sin, what's up,
What
Sin?
up, Sin?
Hope you're doing well.
East Side peeps in here.
That's right. All those that are watching that aren't in the chat, what's up? We appreciate you. All those that watch back on replay, we appreciate you as well. Please like, subscribe. If you guys haven't done so already, please make sure that you go to the description box of this video. There's a link in there to go to Ty's new channel. Click that link, hit subscribe for him because he's trying to build a channel over there about all women's sports. Right, WNBA, soccer. What else you got over there? What else you got cooking?
It's WNBA, soccer. I'm trying to do women's baseball. That's a big thing, and hockey. So yeah, trying to show women are doing it up. The women are doing it up.
College hoops when that starts.
College hoops, most definitely. I'm a huge college hoops fan. I don't even watch the men's side. I just watch the women's side. So it's definitely going down this year.
That's good. Make sure you guys are tapped in over there. I do love how even this entire last season, it seemed like most the sports people like I talked to and listen to whatever around social media, they were all way more into women's college basketball than the men's college basketball. So turning point there. Love to see it. Rob, we appreciate you. Thank you. McNiner, what's good?
My guy.
He says, long time no see.
I know.
Melly, what's up, Melly? We were just talking about you yesterday.
We were talking about you.
We're like,
the
dang.
greeting might not have been so warm. Yeah.
We're like, we wished all this good luck and all this stuff towards Melly, and now look, his team's kicking our ass in this first quarter. Luckily, we pulled out the win, but man, that first quarter was scary looking. We'll definitely get into that a little bit later. The link is when you go to the description of this video. So there's like the chat box and then the description that like tells what's the video's about. The link will be in there. Oh, you were? That's awesome. I hope you enjoyed. Obviously,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Obviously, you got a loss, so that you don't enjoy that, but being there, I'm sure, was still awesome. And it was a great game too. Steve-O, what's up? So we got a few things to get into. A lot of all the teams are getting ready for the Olympic break. We got the All-Star Olympic game. Is that what they're calling it? Like, what's it? Just the All-Star game?
This is the All-Star game.
Okay.
Yeah. Stars versus the Olympians. That's all.
So that's coming up. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I did want to start off because, I feel like we tried to show, give some flowers to our stars of the week or whatnot. And when we wait to do that till later in the show, it kind of messes it up because we kind of already talked about them and then we're kind of talking about them again. So I decided we're going to start off with the stars of the week.
Nice.
Start off the series. First off, I don't think we can even have a show in July and not mention the crazy month. Like, it's only what day? The 5th? What is it?
It's the 15th.
Halfway through July. And she's already had an amazing, a historical month. Like, so much awesome things have happened for A'ja Wilson. And, obviously, her play alone has been crazy. These last 3 games since last week's show, every game since has been absurd numbers. Like, she had a 20-20 game, 20 plus points and 20 rebounds. Like, what?
Historic.
And that started off the other 3 games, and she didn't slow down one single bit. It's amazing because, you know, I think it was it that game a couple games ago, maybe when we played Melly's team, and it was probably like the worst game that Asia had in a while. And remember, I think it was them, right? And they shut down Asia and they shut down Kelsey. Like that was their plan going into the game. They're going to shut those two down and make the other ones beat them. That seems like a plan that a lot more teams would like try to use, you know, but like we go into these games and either Asia just beats whatever's getting thrown at her and it's just that good, or like, I don't like, wouldn't you just send everybody at her? Like she's scoring crazy. She's leading the league in scoring. Aren't you going to do something to try to stop her? Like, like what, you'd have a lot better chance to win a game if you could slow down or stop Asia Wilson, but maybe it's just not possible. You know, Becky in a recent, and I think this is one of the ones I have pulled up, talked about now that she can shoot the three and she's willing, you know, and hitting it. She's like, you know, teams, how are they supposed to defend her now? Like, there's nothing she can't do. So I'm going to pull up some stuff on Asia. But while I do that, why don't you give us your thoughts on kind of what she's put together these last couple of weeks?
It's been historic. It's been stuff of legend. When we talk about the legends of the game, she's like a living legend right now with what she's doing and the way she's playing. And we talked about this a few weeks ago. It was after that brutal Dallas game, I believe, like how she's doing things on every level. She's coming off screens and hitting threes. She's hitting mid-range jump shots. She's in the low post. She's taking the ball up the court. I remember back then I was like, she's like a combination of Maya Moore and Lisa Leslie right now. She's just going off. Like you can't defend her. And you know, it's a lot of talk about this player and that player and that player. And a lot of that is hype. But everything about her is just fact. It's just honest to goodness fact. She is that good. And I noticed something during the Sparks game that they lost last week. Becky is moving her around everywhere. She's running her off screens and double screens like she's a guard. And for Asia to be able to do that and execute that and like make catch and shoot shots and catch and pass out to the wing and do all the things she's doing. It's not just the scoring and the rebound. I mean, that's insane in itself, but all the stuff they're doing, running the offense through her, and she's still like getting her other teammates involved is just unworldly. It's unique.
Yeah.
We're witnessing some really great stuff from her. And I'm glad people are recognizing it and giving her flowers.
Let me pull up this other one.
Oh yeah, and you know, there's been big talk about the double doubles from the rookies. You know, it's a double streak and this double streak. And she's like, "Oh, y'all want to talk about double doubles? Let me take this up a notch. 20 and 20. Let me get you 35 and 18. Let me get you 28 and 16. I mean, the numbers are insane."
Yeah.
I mean, blow that up.
Like,
I mean,
look at just this right. These top.
Yeah.
These top ones are just the month of July.
Yeah.
28 and 17, 33 and 18, 24 and 20, 28 and 10, 35 and 12, 18 and 9. That was our worst game, the one I was talking about against Washington. 28 and 9. Like, are you kidding me? Look, 3 blocks, 3 steals, 3 steals, 3 steals, 2 steals,
let's talk about
2
that.
blocks, 5 blocks, 4 blocks, 2 blocks, 6 blocks, 3 blocks, 5 blocks. Like, what?
It's unreal. And think about the 18 and 9 game. A lot of other players would have an 18 and 9 game and they'd be like, "Oh man, that was a
and be
solid
happy.
Game. That was incredible. What a good performance. One rebound away from a double-double. And we're here saying that was her bad game. It's unworldly.
Yeah, that's the game I'm bringing up for other teams to have a blueprint on how to stop her. And that's some other top players' biggest lines right there. Like, come on. And, you know, like I was bringing this up to show, obviously we're talking about her play, you know, she's breaking records, she's setting all these, you know, different things, but, you know, it just doesn't stop there. She's also on the cover of, let me bring it up, because not only is she on her own cover of the WNBA edition, but there's also a dual cover, which I thought was pretty cool. And these two look good together.
Yeah, it's a cool cover.
Share this. All right. So real quick, this is her. Keep on climbing. 11 games with 25 plus points and 10 plus rebounds, the most in a single season in WNBA history. And the season's only halfway to go still. So this is what I'm saying. So they're doing this, a dual cover. So I thought this was awesome. Like this cover of, make this bigger. Let me see. Come on. Let me see here. Get bigger. Just keep moving it from spot to spot. But like if you see behind them, you can see the actual cover of it. And so like that shit looks hella tight, I think.
That's legit. Both, like, whoever worked on that did great work. Yeah. Got them both in their white unis, pumping it up. It looks dope.
Opposite leg sleeves, like what?
Yeah. Yep.
I love that. That looks hella awesome. And then she is on her own cover as well, right here. So
I love
there's
that.
One. Yep.
That's the one I want.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying that. And I'm not opening it. I'm leaving it sealed. And hopefully we'll get her someday to autograph this. Asia, any aces, if you're listening to this, come on. Just help me and Ty out. Get that done. We greatly appreciate it. We're not asking for too much. Come on.
Nope.
So with all that, also was the ESPYs this week. And our girl, Asia, brings home the two biggest women's sports ESPYs that she could bring home. The first one, I want to make sure I get the name right, was Best Women's Athlete, and then Best WNBA Player as well. So huge awards. I loved it because Candace Parker was the one that announced the award for Best Women's Athlete, and you could tell just the excitement when she opened that envelope and seen that it was Asia. She's like, Asia! Like, so happy, just the cheer, the you know, the excitement that you could just feel it, right? Like I'm like, oh my God, that just worked out perfect.
It was pure joy from her. You know,
and there's been some amazing, some amazing women to earn that award, you know, before, obviously Candace Parker being one of them. And like I thought that was awesome. Once they announced that she won, Asia couldn't be there because they're traveling, you know, for a game. So the girls are all in the hotel that they're staying at for the game. And once they announce Asia's name, they all come out of their separate rooms and take off running down the hallway to go to Asia's room down there too. And she comes out and like they, you know, are all celebrating, congratulating her. So I thought that was hella awesome. So like you could just obviously see what she means, you know, to her teammates. It's you know, right there. I do want to, you know, we always I guess always pull up these videos of Becky talking up Asia because, you know, that's now I got another one for you guys because Asia Spotlight, we got to have the Becky bringing up Asia video. But with it, I also have a clip saved too. And it's Tiffany Hayes talking about Asia. Now, for those that don't know, Tiffany Hayes was retired. She started the season retired. And Becky called and got her to come out of retirement and join the Aces. So this is the first time she's ever played with Asia, you know, on the same team. And so I thought it was very interesting to hear what she had to say because, you know, Chelsea, of course, she's been around Asia all these years. She can have all these great things to say, right? But for somebody new coming into the team as an outsider, what do they have to say about the superstar? So I thought it was very interesting to get to hear her perspective. And I love, because we don't get to hear from her that often. And she happened to have an awesome game, which we'll get into. Mm-hmm. And so she came and was at the presser, and I'm like, oh, yes, perfect. And sure enough, they asked her about A'ja. So perfect timing here. Let's hear from them. It's going to start off with A'ja kind of talking about the start to July that she's had, and then it'll go into Tiff talking about A'ja. What's up, Tia? I see you. Amin the Dream.
Tia. My boy Amin's in the house. What's up?
Good to see
That's
you.
A young goat right there.
Yeah. That's a little goat in training. All right. Let's hear from these ladies.
Question is for A'ja. It's been an eventful week for you, becoming the all-time lead scorer for the Aces, taking home 2 awards, breaking all these records. I know at the end of the day, you always going through your team playing the game, but have you just had time to sit down and reflect on everything you've accomplished so far, just this season alone?
Not at all. I'll do that in October. I don't really think about it because I feel like I just would get overwhelmed with just so much joy, obviously, because not just great things are happening to me, but like around the whole aura of our team is just starting to shift in a good space. And that's what I love the most. So that's where my focus is. I mean, the outside is great. I'm truly blessed. Listen, I'm one blessed woman, but now it's my turn to be a blessing to others. And so I kind of use this moment not to necessarily reflect on what I got going on, but more so diving into my teammates. I feel like they have brought me so much joy throughout this time of my life right now. So I don't get too overwhelmed, but I stay just consistent and in that space because my teammates got me. So I really just focus on that. I haven't really thought much about it. I'm probably gonna do a little Instagram dump just to get it out my photo album so I ain't gotta see it no more. But yeah, I mean, it's been good. It's been a blessing.
The best player ever. Now, thank you. The question too, like, just how much to being like playing alongside A'ja.
Oh, thank you for asking me that. Let me get the mic real quick. It's the most craziest thing I've ever got to experience playing with a player, not just a player, but a person like A'ja. She is a great teammate. She's a great person. She picks us all up. She's funny as heck. It's just been amazing, and I've been saying this all season, but I'm definitely grateful. And she's having a great season. I get to witness this. I get to be beside her while she's doing it, and yeah, you're amazing, man. I've been wanting to say that for a long time, but you're my teammate, so gotta keep it cool. But she's amazing, man. I had to say that. I appreciate to say that.
I love that whole thing. How she's like the whole time. And then like, yep, let me take this mic. I've been waiting for this time.
Yep.
Real quick, let's hear. Let me fast forward up here till Becky and her glasses and eyebrows get going over here.
And out there that they don't know about her. This makes us like really special beyond just the basketball.
I mean, I've kind of run out of adjectives for her. She is gifted, anointed, chosen, however you want to put it. She has it. And I think the biggest thing about A'ja is that's always impressed me is she's always the same A'ja. It doesn't matter if she scores 10 points or 50 points. A'ja comes in the same every day, works hard. Is probably the most, I don't know, she's just a very secure person in who she is, what her purpose is, the direction that she's going, and how she wants to walk her journey. She's very intentional. She's intentional about bringing others with her. She's intentional about how she speaks and interacts with her teammates. She's like the chosen one. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, thank you.
We'll hear from Becky a little bit later when we get into the team. But yeah, what were your thoughts hearing what they had to say about A'ja? And like leave it to A'ja. They ask her to talk about all the stuff she's accomplished so far, and she's like, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about how I can, be this for my teammates. How I can do this for my team. How I can do.
That's Asia, right? like you try to think of a nickname for Asia, and she got the A1 thing going on, and which is dope, by the way. I love that name. But like her nickname could just be like Asia Team Wilson. Like, because everything about her being is just about team. Mm-hmm. Every press conference, everything she talks about, every interview, I'm just focused on my team. I want my teammates to thrive. I want us to gel. Like, it's never a me, it's us. Mm-hmm. I want us to do this. Like, whenever they put the focus on her, she's like, yeah, I'm blessed. That's good. But I'm thinking about us. I'm thinking about how I can make Kate Martin better. I'm thinking about how I can get Plum the ball. I'm doing this. Like, she's been doing her Ricky Rubio thing this year, talking about she wants to dish assists now. She wants to like, this is her. So, when you look up the model of a superstar and what you want that person to be, it's her. So she definitely deserves the flowers. I mean, and she's an awesome athlete. She deserves those awards, those ESPYs, no question. No one can ever come out of nowhere and say, oh, she shouldn't have gotten it. Bullshit. Like, don't even start that. So that's first of all. Tiff Hayes. Now people don't know. Tiff Hayes comes from UConn. She has played with some people. Like, she's a 15-year vet now. She has played with some people. We talking the Tina Charleses and the Maya Moores of the world. Mm-hmm. Okay? Some great players. And for her to say that about Asia Wilson, that speaks volumes. Because this isn't some young-eyed rookie, looking up to her like, oh man, she's phenomenal. No, mm-hmm. This is someone who's played in this league with great players, played overseas with great players. And she's like, yo, let me tell you something about her. And like, you could tell she was waiting to grab the mic and be like, yeah, listen to me. Listen to the OG right now. And let me tell you what's going on. And you felt the same thing with Chelsea Gray when they were together. And Chelsea's like, we tend to give people their flowers late. We should do it now and give her flowers now, because what she's doing is awesome. So I'm glad Tiff said that, and you can tell it was genuine even before she had the mic, and she was like, the best ever. Like, you can tell. And Coach said it best. You run out of superlatives, you run out of adjectives. Like, what can you say? She always amazes you at every level. Like, we've talked on this show every week about the great things she's done. And then this past week, she completely takes it up a notch out of nowhere.
Yep.
Like, you drop a 2020 game on us, along with three blocks and 2 steals. What? And then you follow that up with 35 and 16. What? It's unreal. And through it all, she's not like, hey, look at me. She's like, oh man, KP had a great game. I think Chelsea got us in good positions to do this and do that. It's the epitome of what a superstar should be. Like, if you look up superstar in a dictionary, put her name next to it. Her picture next to it. Because she's doing all the superstar things on and off the court. So kudos to her. Like, and she is deserving.
Yeah. Real quick before we move on to the other stars, just, like number wise, what she's done these last 3 games. So it says Asia Wilson is the first player in WNBA history to record 3 straight games with 20 plus points and 15 plus rebounds. So there's that. And then Asia Wilson, the last 3 games, 28.3 points per game, 18.3 rebounds per game, 5.7 steals and blocks. The only player in WNBA history to average 25-15 on 50, 40, 90% over any span of games.
Unreal. Like, it's unreal. And I don't care where you play, the WNBA, the MNBA, or the YMCA. When you average in numbers like that, that is serious basketball. That is unworldly stuff. And I hope people are really appreciating what she's doing. Because, like you said, the only player to ever do it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
What's up, Bebop-Baroni? Give us a star, Ty. Give us a star of the week. Who you got?
Well, I want to mention this person as a star of the week. I wanted to mention her last week, but I kind of got sidetracked by the damn chat. That person that threw me off. But my star of the week, and a person people should take a notice of, is Rickea Jackson out in LA. Now, Rickea has been quietly balling for the Sparks. And people should take notice. She started off the year, young Ricky on the bench, getting limited minutes. But when she got in, she made her minutes count. She looked really good. Now, because of injury and illness, unfortunately, on the Sparks roster, she is now starting, and she is making the most of her opportunities. I mean, and she is posting some great games. We're talking, 27-7, 22-6, 14-6, just consistent numbers. And she's been getting better and better as the season has progressed. And there's been a lot of talk about Rookie of the Year, and we know who the top two are. But to me, she's slowly creeping into that conversation. And I don't know if it's a East Coast bias or something, but she's not being mentioned enough. But I think toward the end of the year, it's going to be a three-woman race. Sorry, I didn't mean to use that analogy. A three-woman race. And she is definitely that third person. So I got to give her just due. Because for Rookie, she's doing good stuff. And the next person I gotta give a shout out to is Kalea Copper. For Phoenix, Phoenix is a 500 team. They're not doing well, but she has been balling. And she's been trying to put the team on her back and do whatever she can. I mean, she's posted games of her last 5 games, 34 points, 25 points, 32 points, 36 points, and 17 points. And that 17 came against Connecticut with Dejanay Carrington. Like, you get 17 on Dejanay, that's a win. Let me tell you, she is the truth on defense. But she's been lights out. And like DT has been, Diana Taurasi has been inconsistent, and Brittany Griner has been inconsistent, and everyone else has been inconsistent, but she's been that model of consistency, and is now showing that she is the star of that team. So I know she's an Olympian and all that good stuff, but she deserves her flowers because she's playing great basketball as well.
Yeah, I actually had Kaz stats.
Oh, look at that. You pulled up Kaz stats. She was one of yours?
Next star that I brought up. And use Kaz stats to show like both times that she met up with Dejanay, you see is a 17 points and 21 points, by far her, the worst 2 games of the month for her. And that's no slight to Ka. Like you said, like she is freaking amazing, having an amazing month, like carrying that freaking team. And if they were to have any chance to beat Connecticut, which a hell of a game the other day, it would have been because of showing from Cobb. But man, DeJournette, that was a hard-earned freaking 17 points because Carrington, she was all over that ass the entire game. And DeJournette, and she ended up DeJournette in that game, got her first double-double of her career. So shout out to her. Amazing that she hasn't had one yet. I don't know how that's happened. I was so surprised to see that.
It shocked me too when I saw it.
But shout out to her because she's been balling, and she's on somebody obviously that's on a team with a bunch of stars, and a bunch of Olympians, all-stars. I think she was a snub from the all-stars.
We talked about that.
Yeah, and she still shows up, continues the ball, continues to work. And it's hard. It's hard to get shine on you when everybody's like, look at this teammate, look at this teammate, look at this teammate, and you're still there working your ass off. And she's the first one, honestly, that I noticed from the team. So biggest star or not, you turn on a game and she's the hardest working star on the court. Both ends.
She always gets
both ends.
She always gets the top defensive assignment. Like if you got a good guard, Caitlin Clark, a Kalea Copper, or Sabrina Ionescu, you name it, she's guarding them from the opening whistle to the end. That's it. She's on them. You better hope you get a switch on defense somehow on a pick and roll. If not, she's going to be on you. And I like her down to earth humility of it all. Like she said it the other day, Kalea Copper scored 10 points in that first quarter and was just looking like she was going to go off the entire game. And DeJournette buckled down and held her to the 7 the rest of the game. And after the game, she talked about it. She was like, look, in that first quarter, I was getting cooked. I thought it was going to be a long day. I had to really buckle down and get gritty and play some hard-nosed defense. And I was luckily able to get it done and then help produce on the offensive end. That's humility when you can admit, I was getting cooked in that first quarter. Like I had to look at myself and be like, okay, you got to step it up. And
like
she
that
did.
Video. They had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was basically what she said. She had me in the first quarter, not going to lie. But yeah, that was a good game. I was telling somebody, a new fan who was getting into it. I was like, okay, I'm telling you, these two, Kalea Copper and DeJournette Carrington, this is like a heavyweight fight right here. This is what you came to see. Just them two go at it and look at the flow of this game and see who's going to prevail. Because this is a great matchup right here. Just stay tuned.
Yeah.
And it lived up to it.
Yeah, I got one more, but let me say what's up to a couple ladies. We got Steph in the house. What's up, Steph? My 2GOAT partner. Appreciate you coming through. And we got the queen of the queens, Steph. Miss Debbie in the house. Appreciate you coming through. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're keeping cool and hydrated over there.
Exactly.
And I thought I saw one more person, but I guess not. But yeah, what's up to you both? Appreciate you. All right, my last player that I'm going to bring up for this little segment is Aaliyah Boston. The Fever ended up taking down the Lynx the other day. Shout out to them because, it kind of moved another team up a little bit. We'll get into that. But in that game, Aaliyah Boston had a game. 17 points, a career high 16 rebounds, 4 blocks. And you could, we talked about this maybe last week or the week before maybe, but her and Caitlin Clark, their chemistry, you could just see it growing by each week. And if the Fever can get rid of that coach, number one, I don't give a shit how they end this season. Don't let that be enough to keep that lady around because, So number one, get rid of her. Number two, get rid of everybody else on the team. but Caitlin Clark and Boston. Okay, you got high paid ass vets that you don't need anymore. Get them out of there. You got other people that just get them out of there. So build around those two stars, and you got something freaking special brewing over there in the Fever. Like, depending on where they end up this season, you know, how their draft picks come along. But now you're going to have free agents in the offseason that are going to want to go there and play now. Like, okay, now, you know, it's not just one star. Like, they got two legit stars on the Fever now. Get your ass in there while you can, right? Like, you know, like you're going to rather go there than some scrub ass team that's going to be drafted, you know, like. So I think the Fever definitely, if they can just build around those two, like, man, because Boston, she already was a star in her own right. Like, she had a hell of a rookie season, right?
She
was
rookie of the year.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people wanted to start off the season and not give her any damn credit. Like, she got so much freaking hate. Like, I still feel so bad for the girl. Ran her off freaking social media for nothing. Like, you know, it's not her fault there's no chemistry. Like, it's a group thing, right? Like, she was getting everything that was going wrong with the Fever. They were blaming Boston for.
They're blaming her.
It's like, give me a freaking break. Now they blame what's her face?
Erica Wheeler.
Her, and also the girlfriend.
Oh, my girl.
What's her?
Why am I Nalissa Smith?
Yeah, everything Nalissa Smith's fault now, because she's too busy with her girlfriend. She's too busy supporting other teams. So, you know, but Boston and Caitlin Clark, they're growing. You could see just each game, like, they're working. And what I love is that, you know, you could bring up, oh, these people hate Caitlin Clark and she's a bad teammate. She hates her teammates, yada, yada, whatever. What you can see is that there is a legit friendship between Caitlin Clark and Boston. You know, like, they're supporting each other. They're hyping each other up. You know, like, when one's in an interview by herself, she's bringing up the other one. Like, that's the kind of stuff you want to see building, right? Like, to start off with no relationship at all, everybody trying to tear them apart, like, make them enemies before they even got to be teammates, you know? And now to see those girls just like, you know what? The rest of you shut the hell up. Yeah. We're the ones in the building. We're going to sit down. We're going to get to work. And it looks like they've been doing that. So, yeah, shout out to them.
They've been building their chemistry. It takes time.
It does. It does.
In any freaking sport, any team, it takes time. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. You learn to play with one another. You know what a person likes to do, where they like to get the ball, catch the ball, etc. It is what it is. Like, the discourse at the beginning of the season was just terrible. And Aaliyah Boston is the nicest person. Oh my God.
She is.
She's such a wonderful person. She didn't deserve any of that crap. And we talked about this, how these fans are just terrible the way they treat people, because they're people. We know they're players, but they are people, and it's terrible the way they treat them. And a lot of these people are grown adults attacking these young women, and it's like, get a life. But they are definitely the core, the two nucleuses, and you can build around them. I actually like Indiana's core. I actually like Indiana last season, and for those that don't believe me, I have a tweet that I could pull up and prove it.
Liar.
But because you know that's the first thing that's going to come out. I got the evidence where I said last season that this team is going to be dangerous in a year or two, because they got a lot of young pieces. They just need to learn how to gel and put it together. And they wind up landing Caitlin. That's even better for them. So like, they got the makings of something. And if they definitely build more around Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, add on some more complementary pieces, they're going to be fine. I think the coach needs to go too. I just need someone else in there who's going to structure things right and run things the right way, and, use the players properly. Because, like, Lexi Hall is a really good player. She's a good defender. She hit an outside shot. I really like Lexi Hall's a player, and she gets no run. She's just buried on the bench.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't understand why you don't use a player like that. And
it doesn't seem like she even likes Caitlin, or like they like each other, the coach and Caitlin. Like it don't seem like they have a good relationship whatsoever.
It's always a weird dynamic with them, and I don't know what that's about. So yeah, it's
very strange.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the unrivaled league that will be starting once the WNBA season's over.
February,
we didn't have they've been announcing members of the team slowly but surely on social media, and a story came out and kind of gave us a little bit more info on what the league is, and that was because Chelsea Gray, she was the third member of the league announced, obviously behind the two founders, which is Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. Chelsea Gray was the third one announced, and then this story came out. So I want to share this with you guys, a little bit of what they kind of had to say and Chelsea's connection with all this. So it says, "We knew that we wanted to get her involved really early. I feel like it was maybe last year," Collier said. "At that time, we were still really fleshing out what the player experience would be like, and she was really open with helping in any way. And that's how she got involved with some of the investor calls. Those calls were clearly a success. Unrivaled announced in May that it would offer a 6-figure salary to rival any other offering in the history of women's professional sports leagues, a result made possible by a seed round from investors that exceeded expectations. The group of investors included NBA greats Carmelo Anthony and Steve Nash, soccer superstars Alex Morgan and Megan Rapinoe, golf legend Michelle West, longtime Connecticut women's basketball coach Gino Ariama. How do you say his last name? Ariama?
Ariama. And it's Megan Rapinoe, by the way.
Okay. And actor Ashton Kutcher. Stewart and Collier said when the league was unveiled that it would consist of the top 30 players in women's basketball, all of whom will get equity in Unrivaled as part of the inaugural class. Obviously, the money and the salary came first, Gray said of her decision to get involved with the league. And the opportunity to still play, be in shape, and not have to go overseas while still having your family here. I think it was a combined factor.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes on to say, just talks a little bit like about where it'll be on and whatnot. They asked Becky about it, and Becky had to say, the one-on-one is going to be crazy, she said with a laugh. That's going to be pretty cool to watch. But if I was a player in my prime, I would not be signing up for that, she said. So she probably thinks, should be in there. So the players they have announced so far. Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, like I said, we're Stewie and Fee. Then the point guard was the third announced, Chelsea Gray. They then announced Arike as the fourth. Then they have Jewel Lloyd, the Gold Mamba, as number 5.
Number 2-4.
Number 6 is the dog herself, Kelsey Plum.
Plum dog. Yep.
That's now. So 2 aces if we're keeping track on the team so far.
And I think there's one more to go.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be Jackie. I know a lot of people were calling for Asia to join, but like Asia, she's not somebody, she doesn't leave the country to go play basketball like after the season. She has other stuff going on. She's not playing basketball year round, so I just don't see that like her doing this, as well as, if we're being honest, like she took a pay cut so that everybody could get paid and stay on the Aces. Like she doesn't need the money. So like probably her thinking is, why am I going to take this spot on this team and take this big paycheck out of somebody else's pocket that really needs this, right? So I definitely think it'll be Jackie. There's been some hints because if you guys haven't seen on the Unrivaled social media page, they'll post like hints. So like they showed like the aces, you know, like the aces out of a deck of cards, you know, to hint that like it's going to be one of the aces. Like Kelsey Plum's today to hint. It like showed them lifting up 2 cards, and then once they went down, like you seen some smoke come up, and we know that Kelsey has her cigar brand, you know, so it's like cigar smoke coming up. So things like that they're doing to, like, you know, to do hints, and their first aces hint showed 3 aces cards, so that's why we're saying that we think there's another ace coming up. Yeah, so we'll see who the next ones that get announced, but I think that's awesome, and especially the pay is huge for them to be able to go in there and get those investors to pay these ladies so that they don't have to go to another country and be away from their families and all this shit just to be able to put food on their tables, you know. Like this is amazing for them to be doing this. You
know, this is the expansion of the sport, and this is the work you see by these women behind the scenes to take care of one another, to try to keep them here home instead of going overseas and doing with the grueling realities of playing a season overseas and, you know, being away from your friends and family. This is why, you know, Natasha Cloud and others started Athletes Unlimited. Athletes Unlimited is a short run league. It's player owned. It's played before the WNBA season starts, and they pull players from the league and a lot of good players that aren't in the league right now, and they share the equity, share monies, and just run through a season, and it's fun to watch. You know, this is another expansion of that, another league, and they've got some big time investors in this one. And it's 3-on-3, a shortened court. It's a different type of basketball, so you don't get oversaturated with the 5-on-5 full court, right? A little something different, a little different flavor for us. So you get to highlight players a little bit more, and it's just great for women's basketball. I think it's great that they put their heads together and done this, and having Chelsea Gray involved, like, I think that's a no-brainer. She's been in this league for how many years now, and she's one of those players that has had to go overseas every year to play, just supplement her income, to be away from her family. So she knows the toll that takes and what's involved, and she knows, you know, what it means to have a league here and give something back to players. So, you know, it's great what they're doing, and I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be super exciting and fun. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, old stud butt.
I love that name. It makes me laugh every time.
To see Jackie say that is hilarious because she's so quiet,
of all
you know,
people.
so to have her come out and then even tweet about it, like, is even funnier.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about these standings. You know, when I was looking at the standings earlier, I was thinking it was only just a few weeks back that I remember reading these standings to you guys, and I was so pissed off because the Aces were like all the way down at the freaking bottom.
Yep.
But my, oh my, how things change. Let's get into it. Number 1. Still those pesky old New York Liberty. They got a 2-game cushion now on the Connecticut Sun. Liberty are sitting at 20 wins and 4 losses currently. Sun at second place with 18 wins and 5 losses. Coming in at third place are your Las Vegas Aces, 16-7. The Lynx, 4th place, 16-8. Seattle Storm, 5th place, 16-8. So we're all cushioned in there. Yep. 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. They're all snug. Yep.
It's tight.
But we're quite a little ways ahead. The 6th place is the Mercury, and they're currently sitting at 12-12. So they're 4 games behind. So they Then you got the Fever. They're at 7th with 11 wins and 14 losses. Right behind them, Chicago Sky, 9 wins and 14 losses. We got the Sparks, 6 wins, 2 of which are the Aces, but we don't want to talk about that, and 17 losses. Number 11, not in last place anymore.
Nope.
Are your Mystics, 6 wins, 18 losses, and 12th place are the Wings with 5 wins and 19 losses. Look at that, Melly. The Mystics, they're moving on up in the world.
Making moves, yep.
And you know what? Like, that team, they play so much better than what their record is. You know, like if they actually had, like, could you imagine how well they'd be playing if they had no injuries and their stars were actually on the court? Like, because man, like they're tough, and we're gonna, you know, the Aces play them, so we're gonna get into that in a minute. But let's start with Aces' first game of the week. Now it's at Seattle. All 3 of the road games, all 3 were road games this week for the Aces, and all 3 were wins for the Aces. And now tomorrow the Aces come home and play their last game for the next month. So it's gonna be, hopefully we steal that dub. But at Seattle, Aces win 84-79. This game kind of had me nervous for a little bit, you know, not gonna lie. But Asia, this is her game that she went off with the 24-20, 3 steals, 4 blocks. It was the Asia show. Like, what are you gonna do? What? What are your thoughts from the Seattle game as I pull up these stats from that game?
Yeah, good game. You know, 2 really good teams. This is what you expect. It was a close game, but I think the stars of the Aces showed up more than stars for Seattle. Like, we know Asia Wilson, 2020. Nothing more you can say. I mean, to do that while battling Nneka Ogwumike and Ezi Maglador is a huge accomplishment. I think people don't know that. She's not out there just battling people smaller than her. We're talking same size or bigger. It's unreal. And she's getting double teamed down there too. Like, they've tried to put a focus on her and like send people at her to like try to trap her and double team her, and she was still getting her. She was going off. It's just a great game. But
Jackie with 27.
And that was my butt. It was she had that other complimentary piece. And healthy, good feeling Jackie Young is a great Jackie Young. Because she came in and dropped 27 on them. The 3-pointers were off, but she was getting to the hole, shooting her mid-range, doing her Jackie Young thing.
God, she's just
being
so
aggressive
fucking tough. Like, I can't even
I know, being aggressive and looking for her shot. And that's what we need from Jackie Young. Right? And especially when a night where Kelsey Plum was off. She had an off night. 5 for 13 from the field, only 13 points. But you need that, at least a second piece to step up. And if you get some complimentary stuff, otherwise, it'll be great. So yeah, it was just one of those battles. It was a game where it was 2 tough teams just battling it out. And the Aces pulled it out behind Asia and Jackie.
Yeah. And, you know, Jewel Lloyd still had a Jewel Lloyd game, 28 points.
Great picture,
Skylar Diggins-Smith, 16. You know, so it's not like their team just didn't show up at all. Like, you know, they were there battling.
That's what I mean.
But
yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, our stars battled a little harder. All right.
Yep.
Oh, what I was gonna say about Jackie is there's sometimes when I'll see her like bulldozing her way to the net, and it's just like you see her like little body and think, like, just looking at her coming towards like these 6'5", 6'7".
Yeah.
you know, like in front of the net, and you like, I picture like a cartoon, like seeing her pile drive them and just like her like boom and fall backwards, you know. But no, she like boom, and they're like spreading like freaking bowling pins. Like, it's amazing how this little compact body somehow just, and she has no freaking fear. She's just gonna drive to that freaking hoop. Like, it's I love watching.
Not just against guards. Like, she'll take on the center.
That's what I'm saying. It
like,
doesn't matter.
There was a couple of plays where 6'4", 7-inch wingspan Izzy McLador was there in the lane waiting for her, and she was like, "No, I'm gonna get my shot up against you. I can beat you. I can take you." And that's Jackie Young, just no fear, just playing relentless, and just turns around and goes up court like nothing happened.
And there's
like, absolutely
shots,
nothing happened.
Like, how does she even? I'm just like, how do you have like the stomach muscles or like muscle control? I don't even know what it is to be able to, like, you know how she does that where she'll like pull up her legs like completely off the ground. Her body's like twerked a whole nother way. She's shooting the ball around this way somehow. It's just like, how does your body even bend and control and you somehow land back on your feet? Like, it just doesn't even seem like it would be humanly possible for all that to happen and you still land on your feet like a freaking cat, you know, like you throw them up and they're going to land on their feet no matter what. Like, that's Jackie. Like, I just don't.
Amazing athletes. Just amazing.
Recently, I don't know if, I'm sure you had watched it, but for those that, you know, aren't Aces fans, they recently did a Aces, you know, on the Aces channel. They do all these different special episodes and whatnot. And they recently did one on the assistant coach. And he has such a big impact on Jackie Young and their, you know, like their relationship and all that.
Their one-on-one,
and right prior to the episode, you know, on him was a one-on-one they did together. And back to back, those two episodes together, like awesome, like info there. Like, just about how Jackie like came into the league, how he's worked with her and Rashad and like all this, and like how she, like, if she misses a shot on the court, the first thing she's going to come off to do is come out off the court and talk to him. Like, what did you see? What do I need to do? What, you know, so that she can, like, I'm not waiting till after the game's over or till practice to fix something that's wrong. I'm coming off the court and we're getting it fixed right now, you know? And I loved seeing that and what takes place like between those two. And you could just see those two, both being quiet, have such a genuine relationship. And, you know, she even said, like, you know, like, shout out to his wife, and like, you know, he has a baby too. But she said, like, I can text him or call him literally any time of the day or night, day off, weekend, holiday, and say, hey, I need to go into the gym or let's go work out, and he'll be there, you know. And that just shows you, you know, not even just the dedication our players have, which, you know, I'll get into this video where Becky kind of talks about our team a little bit. But not just the dedication that these players have, but the dedication that our whole coaching staff has to making this team great. And, you know, like, you hear so much when people are talking about this league and the different players, hearing them talk, and that they're not, like, you know, players from other teams now are starting to get their own gyms. But for so long, and there's still teams that don't have it, those girls, they can't just, you know, wake up at 3 in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to go shoot some hoops. I can't sleep. Because they don't have a gym that their team provides for them to go do that. Like, the Aces, 24/7, 365. Even when the season's over, it doesn't matter. They have a facility here that's their own that they can go into and work out, the gym, the court, everything, you know. And does that play a part into why they're winning championships and other teams aren't?
We'll look. You know what? That brings up something very interesting. But let me get sidetracked here real quick. When I look at, we talked about this last week, you know, and I gave kudos to Mark Davis and what he's done. He's come into the franchise, completely supported everything, built their own facility, said, I want nothing but the best for these athletes. He supported them. I look at the Psy family of the Liberty, came in, brought the team, said, nah, you playing with that crap hole up in Westchester, nope. Come down. You're going to be in Barclays Center. You're going to get your own locker room. Whatever you need, I got your back. The Minnesota Lynx, their new owners came in, said, you know what? We're going to support this team. We're going to get them their own facilities. Look, these are the teams at the top of the standings. It makes a difference when they're supported from the top down.
Yeah.
And every club should be this way. Every team should be this way. It makes a huge difference when you invest in these athletes. You get a good return.
Yeah. Since we're talking about that, we'll get right back into these Aces games. But let me play this clip now, since we're on the subject anyway, about what Becky had to say. This was after her press conference after the Washington Mystics. Oh, I love that picture, Melly.
Yeah, I told her it was a great photo.
She didn't have a picture right before.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember seeing no picture before. All right. Very nice. All right, let's play this.
That's perfect. Becky, so before you came in, Tiffany and Asia talked about how close they are as teammates. I wanted you to talk about being around this extraordinary group of women. What does it mean to coach them, and also being the best of greatness around them?
Well, we talk about culture a lot, and I think the biggest thing, there's so many things that I appreciate about them collectively as a group. But it kind of starts individually. It's like you can start with the individual. They're all very, first of all, professionals. I never have to get on them to go work out or to be about the, showing up at the gym. Like they just do all the little things right. They take care of their bodies. They're not out, all hours of the night. They're pros, and they have a professional approach to them. So it kind of starts with the individual, but I always tell them, you can't have good culture and bad character. And so we really look into people's character and what kind of person that they are before we add them into the group. And it's something I'm super protective over, because I think it's kind of their superpower is the way that they care about each other. Not all teams are like that. It's not absolutely necessary to win a championship, but like I told them, it sure does help. Sure makes it a lot funner when you like the person next to you. Because we've seen greatness, whether it's on the men's side or the women's side, where they've won championships, but they didn't necessarily like each other. And, I just think it creates something really magical when you got a character. Because at the end of the day, this is who you're going to war with. You're going to work with them every day. You spend hundreds and hundreds of hours with each other. And at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. And I think you have to really enjoy who you're walking it out with.
So, yeah. A couple things, I like the whole thing, but a couple things that really stuck out to me from what she said are you can't have good culture and bad character.
Bars. Yep.
And then awesome. When she talks about they're not out at all hours of the night. Now, remember, this team is in Vegas, the 24-hour capital of the world, Vegas.
Yeah.
There's somewhere to go all hours of the night, especially when you have money to go out.
Especially if you're a star.
When you're 20,
the star of the town.
Single in your 20s, a superstar. Like, you could be out running this freaking city. And they're not. They're here working.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, high character. That's number one. And you can tell the way they support each other, talk about each other. I mean, we can say it till we're blue in the face, but you can see it just by how they interact with each other and what goes on. And we know they take care of each other because when that picture you showed last week or a couple of weeks ago with Jackie Young and her abs and biceps, are like, geez. Yeah, she ain't out at 2 a.m. getting tacos like
Taco Tuesday in it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we know Kelsey's always ripped, so yeah.
Let's get back into these games. The Aces versus the Dreams. They beat them 84-70. Asia had 33 points, 18 rebounds. You had Jackie with 19 points. Kelsey had 15 points. On the other side, Parker led the way. Nobody really had a great game on that side, but Parker led the way with 17 points. So that kind of shows you. Even Alicia Gray, she was held to 11 points.
Yep.
Tina Charles, for a second there, looked like she was going to come alive and become Tina Charles of old. She only ended up with 12 points, but those were some, 12 points that really helped them. And I'm like, dang, like, are you guys going to guard them or what's going on? The defense, though, even these games, that we've won, the defense to start the game has been shit.
Yeah,
and
I was going to mention that, especially with the Washington game.
Maybe sometimes even the first half are shit, and it's like then they either come out in that second quarter or they come out in the second half, and it's like, okay, Becky, she cussed their freaking asses out. You can tell.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of been that way since the beginning of the season. Like the first quarters, I've been like, oh, hey, we're in for a long day. And then I don't know if Becky gives them the look, like, or if Asia says something, or they just like, all right, let's get it together. But they turned up the defensive intensity, and they needed to, because after losing to Atlanta in the first game, in Atlanta, like they needed to bounce back and do something. And I'm glad the game was won on the defensive end for sure, because they stepped it up, started getting stop after stop, and started playing some Aces basketball.
Yep. All right. The Mystics game, Melly and the Mystics. Here we go. So this shows you guys kind of how this game went. The Mystics scored 31 points in the first quarter. 31 points. The Aces scored 20. Now, after that, the Mystics scored 12 points in the second, 19 points in the third, and 15 points in the fourth. So, yeah, the defense finally got their asses into gear, and the Aces won 89-77. Asia, 28 points, 17 rebounds. Kelsey Plum, 22 points. Somebody I want to talk about here is Tiffany Hayes. She had 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, coming off the bench. Man, like, I didn't even hadn't even looked at how many points she had scored once that game ended. And because I didn't care, because I already knew how big of a part she played in that win. Now, when I looked at that, I expected it to be more than 17 points, honestly. But just her impact was felt from the time she first checked in off that bench to the time that whistle blew at the freaking end. And she just like I forgot. While you're talking, I'll look for this tweet I have put out yesterday. But she's like just this firecracker. Like, she comes in, the team can just be in a lull, like can't get shit going, and all of a sudden Tiff Hayes comes to the game, and it's just like everybody speeds it up, like they play to her tempo, and she's fast and plays with so much freaking effort. Like, the stuff you can't teach is the stuff Tiffany Hayes plays with. Like, to see her up there, like some of the rebounds and shit that she goes after, being so skinny and tall and tiny, and she's bodying up against these big ass girls and no fear whatsoever. Like, she's gonna go after that ball. She don't give a shit. And it's just like to see somebody like play with just so much grit and determination, and like it's awesome to see. Like, and it's obviously coming out of retirement, it took a little bit. We talked about her having to learn the Aces playbook and what the Aces like to do, get comfortable with her teammates, and it looks like it's all starting to come together. Like, shout out to Tiffany Hayes for not just coming out of retirement to play with us on the basketball team, But even coming out of Twitter retirement.
I know.
Even coming out of Twitter retirement. We got her back now.
Yep. She's an ace now. Yeah. You mentioned, Becky called her earlier. Chelsea Gray called her too. And was like, hey, we need you. Get your butt in here. If a Chelsea Gray calls you, you answer the call. So shout out to Chelsea for bringing in her homie to do some things. And we talked about this when she first signed. She's a baller. She can get buckets. She can do her thing. And when her game is on, like we just said, she has impact. She will impact the game and not just scoring and doing other things. And we know how those guards out of UConn play. That they just go after it. They can get after it. So it was a good game. It was good to see that they turned it up offensively. I mean, defensively, because that first quarter was, whoo, that was looking ugly. Yeah. I mean, that was some ugly basketball. It was beautiful for Washington. I know Melly was in there whooping it up. She was probably, dancing in the aisle. Like, it's going to be a great day. But yeah, they turned it up and shut everybody down except for Ariel Atkins. And we know Ariel Atkins is a great player. She can get buckets, and she put the team on her back. She was doing her thing. But back to the Aces, we know about their big three. Is Asia, Kelsey, and Jackie. Then after that, you got a fourth with Chelsea Gray. Well, now they got a fifth with Tip Harris, right? Who can go out and get you 17 to 20 points.
Hayes.
So, I mean, Tip, why I say Harris? Sorry. I'm thinking of T.I. My bad. You can do whatever you like. My bad. Yeah. With Tip Hayes. So now you got 5 that you got to deal with. But not only that, you still got Alicia Clark, who can light you up. She can get you from 11 to 15. You got Kate Money Martin coming in. She gets some threes. Like, it's a good problem to have in Vegas. They got the pieces gelling at the right time. And like you said, a few weeks ago, it was 6-6, and they were down in the standings, but they're right back up there. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. They're rolling right now.
Yeah. Yep. So tomorrow against the Sky, we'll see. Hopefully they can pull out that dub and go on to their break.
Yep.
Looking
break
pretty
on a high note.
I saw that this, like the dad, I'm guessing, one of the parents had posted this picture of their child, their daughter. And her name is Angel Reese as well. The daughter's name is. And so they're trying to get Angel Reese to, meet up with her and whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
So I guess the last time he tried, they weren't able to do it. So it looked like they were trying again at tomorrow's game, from what I can see. So hopefully they end up seeing it. But yeah, it says, her name is Angel Reese. No, really, it is. Her last rec season, she was number 5 on Team Sky. This pick was taken at the Atlanta Dream versus Chicago Sky game last week. She wants nothing more than to meet Angel Reese, but I came up short that time. The name lives on.
Oh, they got to make that happen. Somebody's got to communicate that to her. Yeah. Somebody, somebody
all of us started tagging Angel Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah. It post
That's
come
what needs
on,
to happen.
Angel Reese. Yeah. Like the same number, the same name. Like, oh my God, you got to do it. You got to make it happen. Like, hopefully, even if Angel doesn't see it, because I'm sure she gets tagged. I couldn't even imagine in how much shit.
Yeah.
But like a member of the Sky, or the Sky's page or whatever.
It needs to happen from the member of the Sky, a teammate, something that can go to her directly, because these players get tagged on so much crap.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times they don't see a bunch of it, but someone in there should notice that and say, hey, you need to see this, check this out, and point it out to her and make that happen. That would be great.
Yeah, so I hope so. And I don't know if it didn't say though if it's going to be they're going to be here at the game in Vegas, but maybe at a Chicago game once we get back from break. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so the last thing, don't forget the All-Star game, July 20th. Last prediction, who wins and who is our All-Star MVP?
I think the Olympians win. MVP, I'll give it to Asia. Maybe she'll try to send a message like we bringing home gold. It's running through me. Who knows?
I think I'm going to go with Team All-Star because I just think that they're going to be trying harder to beat the Olympians than what the Olympians are actually going to be trying in that game, because like they're getting ready to go play the Olympics and all this stuff.
Yeah.
The All-Star ladies, they get to just play this game and then go on break for a month. So, and you know, right? Some of them have something to prove. They're mad that they didn't make the Olympic team and all this. So, you know, maybe it gives them a little more oomph to play. But again, it's not like this is like the NBA All-Star game, you know, to where they're not really giving two shits. Somebody goes off, you know, and it's like, okay, evident that that player is going to be scoring all the points. So you just feed them the ball and carry on.
Yeah.
Something like that. But it'll still be fun nonetheless. Any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, All-Star Weekend is here. I'm waiting to see the skills challenge and 3-point contest. I can't wait for that announcement to be made as to the participants. We mentioned this person a few weeks back for her 3-point shooting and what she's doing. And I just got to say one more time, Steph Dolson of Melly's Mystics better get invited to the 3-point contest.
Yeah.
Because she's been lighting it up all season. I mean, the other day, I thought they should have ran more plays for her. To, you know,
she
get something going last time. Get something going from behind the arc. Like she did so well. I'm like, go back to that game plan, but okay, don't go back to it.
Yeah.
Better for us. Like, but she's been lighting it up all season. And I think just for her personality and everything she brings to the game, and she can shoot. Like she can shoot. She deserves to be in it. So I would really love to see that, like a Steph Dolson versus Sabrina Ionescu in a round or something like that. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see who's it? Big Mama Steph. That's right. Them UConn girls. Big Mama Steph doing her thing. And yeah, I'm looking to see who's in it and, you know, how it turns out. And it's always a fun night. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have her scoring like that too, because the Aces can't guard the 3-point to save their life. And
I know,
like I said, she lit her ass up last time. So I was hoping, like I went in this game, like I'm keeping my eye on you. And luckily there was nothing. So I'm like, yeah.
And we were talking in the first quarter, like, can they guard the outside shot? And I'm like, if Steph heats up, we in trouble. Like good thing they didn't go to her. See, Melly agrees. She knows. Of course,
then you would have had two of them on fire from the 3 shit.
I
that was
know.
The last thing we would have needed. We would have lost for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's all we have for today. Not too much craziness went on this past week. Just some, you know, good games of basketball. I watched quite a few games this past week, and there were some really good games on.
There's some good ones, yeah.
Thanks, Tia. Appreciate you.
I was at that New York, Connecticut game. That was a good one. Came down to the wire. Sabrina Ionescu hit the game-winning shot at the end. That was good stuff. That was a good, fun day. Always good to go to the game with mom. That's all like our annual thing. We'll go to the day game, hang out, have fun. It's good stuff.
That's good. Gotta take care of old Mama Dukes.
That's right.
All right. So yeah, tomorrow the Aces play against the Sky, like I said, and then we got the All-Star game and nothing for a month.
Yeah.
Olympics.
We'll recap that on Monday, All-Star weekend, and all the festivities and chat about that. It should be good.
Yeah. And while the WNBA is on Olympic break, we'll still have our show. We'll talk about, what the girls are doing in the Olympics, talk about what, we'll give out some half season awards. I think we'll do that next week.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll still be here every Monday, usually the same time, 6 Pacific time, 9 Eastern. And yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Stay cool out there. Stay safe. There's some crazy weather going on, with all these tornadoes and
around the entire country, like heat waves.
Like most of the United States, it's on a heat wave. The other part of the United States is twirling around, and it's like
wild.
Other parts flooded, like all kinds of crazy shit. So everybody stay safe. Everybody have a great week. What are you trying to watch, Sin? The All-Star game?
That should be on ESPN. I'm pretty sure.
I think I saw that it's on ESPN, like CBS, one of those two.
I'm sure. Yeah, the big ones are ESPN and CBS. I'm pretty sure it's on one of those two.
Yeah. Yep. And it's on the 20th. So I'm sure once we get closer, they'll start telling us where we can find it. And then I'll send it to you soon once I find out. But yeah, so like I said, everybody stay safe. Everybody have a great week. Me and Ty will be back next Monday, same time, same place. If you haven't already and you're not subscribed to Ty's channel, She Got Game Network, go to the description box of this video. The link's right there for you. Click the link, head on over there, subscribe. We'll greatly appreciate it. And yeah, much love, fam. We're out of here.
Out of here.
Go Aces.